there's a kind of stuck that kind of feels like you're not stuck. I know that sounds really complicated, but hear me out. Jintan isn't lazy. He's frozen in the exact moment he lost Menma. And Anaru isn't chasing popularity. She's running from the version of herself that existed before the guilt. And the rest of the main characters are not choosing to stay in the past. The past is choosing them. And until you understand why, the story makes no sense. Hey Soul Healers, DJ Lee here, your emotionally intelligent bestie. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. And today we're talking about the anime Anohana. And not just the anime, but how the characters kind of feel psychologically stuck and how it teaches us about grief. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. With those unfamiliar with the anime starts off with a childhood tragedy. A group of best friends, once known as the Super Peace Busters, drift apart after the sudden death of their friend Menma. No one knows how to move on, no one knows what to say, so they stop talking altogether. Years later, Menma suddenly appears before Jintan. But here's what's fascinating. She's the same cheerful little girl she always was. The people who changed were the ones she left behind. And from that moment, the story isn't about solving a mystery. It's about healing wounds that never really closed. Now, here's where Anohana becomes really realistic. Most stories show grief one way: crying, funerals, sad music. But this anime shows something much deeper. It shows that the grief looks different for everyone. Some isolate themselves, some pretend everything is okay, some become consumed by guilt, some bury their feelings behind logic, and some just keep on moving. Because standing still means remembering. And there's one thing that I really want to say when it comes to grieving. There isn't an incorrect way of grieving at all. They're all grieving differently, and that's okay. And that's one of the healthiest messages I've ever seen in an anime, like, ever. One of my favorite things about the anime is that Menma isn't the conflict. The real conflict is that everyone didn't get to say what they wanted to say when Menma passed away. They blame themselves, they blame each other, they replay the day she died over and over again. And because no one talks about it, everyone creates their own version of what happened. And that's exactly how unresolved grief works. When we don't communicate, our minds fill in the gaps with guilt, shame, and regret. Menma's presence doesn't bring up all these emotions. It simply just makes them confront the emotions that they all ran away all these years. What I love most about this anime is that it can talk about so many different stories and not lose the main message, which I think a lot of animes can really mess up on. Grief isn't just sadness. Sometimes it's avoidance, sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's pretending you moved on when you haven't. And that's exactly what happened to every member of the Super Peace Busters. They didn't process the loss, they adapted around it. They built entirely new versions of themselves to avoid feeling what happened. And honestly, that's something that a lot of us do today. When I got suggested this anime, at first I didn't really want to watch it. But my friends kept on pushing me to watch it, and now I truly understand why this anime is just truly loved. Because everybody in this lifetime has experienced unresolved grief at least once. Maybe it was someone who passed away, a friendship that ended, a relationship, a version of yourself you had to leave behind, and instead of processing, you kept moving. But this anime teaches us something incredibly important. Healing doesn't begin when time passes. It begins when we're finally honest about what we're feeling, when we stop carrying our pain alone. And when we let people grieve with us, the process of grieving gets a little bit easier. And that's exactly what this group finally learned at the end of the anime. So yeah, Anohana isn't about ghosts. It's about grief and guilt, and how conversations around these two topics can really help the process of moving on. Have you ever dealt with guilt or grief and not been able to talk about it? Please leave a comment down below and let me know what you're going through and how it relates to the anime. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. And make sure to also follow me on my social media platforms, for I am on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you, soul healers, for watching my video. And as always, keep striving and keep thriving. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.